Dear students, you are welcome in this class, and the topic is organic farming, a brief history. For last so many years, I can say for last 7 or 8 years, this organic farming or organic agriculture is a very hot topic. Wherever you go, people speak of organic farming. Consumers, farmers, general public, students, teachers. It has been a lot of a topic of discussion among the people, nationally, internationally also. Particularly, government, uh, the present government for last 8-10 years is promoting organic farming, and it is in their agenda. Also, some new things are coming up like natural farming. So, of course, natural farming can be somewhat misleading, and I'm not interested to speak on natural farming. In my view, it is not worth discussion also, because there is nothing in organic natural farming what they say about. So my thrust will be only on organic farming, and you will see what do we mean by organic farming. So before going into the details of the topic, let us see some history of the organic farming. And many times you come across some people say, call it organic agriculture. Some people call it organic farming. So are there any differences in organic farming or organic agriculture? Sometimes ecological agriculture, sometimes agroecology. So there are many words which are related to organic farming. We need to get clear-cut idea what do we mean by them. Also natural farming. So that part I will discuss later, definition, etc. But at the moment, just you see why we required and how this question came about organic farming. So there had been two important events in the world. Number one was industrial revolution in Europe and America. So industrial revolution in Europe and America brought out significant changes in agriculture. It introduced chemical agriculture or modern farming, where machines and chemicals like pesticides, herbicides, or chemicals were used in agriculture. They were introduced in agriculture because of industrial revolution in Europe and some other developed countries or regions of the world. And in India, the significant changes came in our agriculture because of green revolution. So these two events have been very, very significant that have converted organic agriculture into chemical agriculture or conventional agriculture or present day agriculture. Otherwise, before industrial revolution or before green revolution in India, it was all almost organic agriculture in the world. So a lot of technological advancements were made due to industrial revolution. Like textile industry developed, steam power came, you know about James Watt engine, iron making, invention of machines, tools, glass making, gas lighting, cement making, paper machine, mineral mining, printing. A lot of developments were taken during the industrial revolution in Europe and some other countries. Wait a moment. So then what happened? Some of the agriculture could not remain untouched. So part of technologies, part of modern tools were introduced in agriculture also. Like machines were introduced, tillage operations were started, harvesting through machines, spraying, transport increased, chemical, pesticide, fertilizer, means almost all the modern tools of modern farming were introduced in industrial revolution period. Now, same time, you remember Jethro Tull. He invented a horse-drawn hoe. and a seed drill with tines to sow the row crops, sowing of crops in rows. You know, Jethro Tull started these tillage operations. By middle of the 19th century, manufacture of single superphosphate started in England. You must be knowing the history of this manufacture of single superphosphate. Initially, it was developed by Liebig. The first tractor internal combustion engine in USA in 1910. I think you know what is external combustion engine and internal combustion engine. Internal combustion engine generally run with your petrol and diesel, and this external combustion engine was based on steam. Haber and Bosch in 1910 developed the process of ammonia synthesis, and through which you could make nitrogenous fertilizer. Then also DDT, a pesticide, was made in 1939 by P. Muller in Switzerland. Similarly, BSC was discovered in France, and then nitrophenols were the first group of selective herbicides. So here, purpose of this data or slide is just to show you that all the modern tools of farming were invented, were developed during immediately after, during the Industrial Revolution or immediately after the Industrial Revolution. And then the switching of area from organic farming to chemical farming started. And also it was supported by Liebig, just as one Liebig, he developed theory of mineral plant nutrition. And he believed that mineral salts were only nutrients plants needed, and they could completely replace manure. Means almost he demolished the humus theory that nutrients are taken up in inorganic forms. He also propounded the law of minimum, which helped in the soil fertility management. So Justice Liebig has very important role in introduction of fertilizers for crop production. And at the same time, people felt, means after the post-industrial revolution, people felt that this change in farming, this switch over from organic farming to conventional farming is not good. So many people came in support of organic farming. Even in 19th century or 20th century, many authors, many scientists, they said what Europe is doing, what other countries are doing after industrial revolution in farming is not good, that is not sustainable. So many people have written many books, many ideas, and then again they started thinking to convert the chemical farming to organic farming. So in this case, few names are there like F.H. King in USA. He traveled through Asian countries and he wrote a book, Farmers of 40 Centuries, or Permanent Agriculture in China, Korea, and Japan. It was the complete title of the book, and it is called as travelogue because it was written while he was traveling through these countries. Travelogue and description of observations of farming system during his travels in China, Korea, and Japan in the early 1900s. So what could he see? That farmers in Asia, in these countries, were not following the chemical farming. They were following the conventional farming or organic farming or nearly organic farming, which was sustainable in his views. Now, then in 1924, Rudolf Steiner, I think you must have learned this name, from Germany. So he was founder of the anthroposophy and father of biodynamic agriculture. He is considered as father of biodynamic agriculture. And in 1928, Demeter was the organization formed around Steiner's teaching. He gave some lectures, or 8 lectures, and based upon this, his disciple compiled it and creating the set of standards to define sustainable agricultural practices. So he developed a new thought, new philosophy, which was known as anthroposophy. Anthropo means human and sophia means wisdom. So he defined it, anthroposophy, as a scientific exploration of the spiritual world. I think you understand spiritual world, scientific exploration of the spiritual world. So then in biodynamic agriculture, it is a form of alternative agriculture which is similar to organic farming. So fundamentally, biodynamic agriculture is based upon organic farming or use of organic farming practices, but based on pseudo-scientific, may not be true, pseudo-scientific and esoteric concepts of Rudolf Steiner. So whatever concepts were given by Rudolf Steiner, only his hardcore disciples accepted them. But many people are skeptical, are doubtful about the concepts given by Steiner. Esoteric means very unusual and understood or liked by only a small number of people. They were not accepted by everybody. Only a small section of people accepted his views. So in 1924, first of the organic agriculture movements, but it has given a flip, it has given a support to the organic farming movement. So it treats soil fertility, plant growth, and livestock care as ecologically interrelated. So this is definitely very good principle of biodynamic agriculture, that soil fertility, plant growth, livestock, all are interlinked. Very correct. Emphasizing spiritual and mystical perspective. Then some problem comes when you emphasize on spiritual and mystical perspective. Like I give you one example of yogic agriculture in India. Yogic agriculture means adoption of organic farming practices plus doing some spiritual sitting in the field. Somebody will come in the field, he will do some puja, some mantra, some jap, or some kind of worship, and he or she will declare that yield, crop yield will increase if I do bhajan around the field. So I think you will not accept that. So therefore, some spiritual and mystical perspective were introduced by Rudolf Steiner. So they were disliked by many people. It emphasizes the use of manures and compost, that is fine, and explores the use of synthetic fertilizer, pesticide and herbicide on soil and plant. Okay, that is fine. We can find out alternatives, but alternatives of insect pest disease management or nutrient management should be effective. It is not that one cow can give manures which is enough for 30 acres. Such kind of false information is spread to the people. Like Panchgavya, like cow urine. We don't know, we do not have any scientific basis of cow urine, whether it can control the viral diseases, fungal diseases, or insect pest and disease. So how can we say that they are effective? So we need to keep in mind all these things. But up to some extent, as they are, biodynamic agriculture is promoting organic manures and your natural pesticides or some other organic chemicals. In this case, emphasis from its beginning on local production and distribution systems, its use of traditional and development of new local breeds and varieties. This is also fine. Some methods use an astrological sowing and planting calendar. So these kind of things are doubtful. Astrological sowing and planting calendar. Uses herbal and mineral additives for compost additives and field space. Some may be good, some may not be good. We need scientific validation of such materials. For example, they say that burying the ground quartz stuffed into the horn of a cow, which are said to harvest cosmic forces in the soil. You take the horn of cow, fill the quartz in it and put it into the soil. I think it will not do anything. But they have some beliefs, some spirituality in these things. Biodynamic agriculture is a pseudoscience as it lacks scientific evidence for its efficacy. So not all the principles and practices of biodynamic agriculture may be worth or may not be very scientific, but still it has promoted organic agriculture, agriculture in organic forms. Now, 1939 in USA, Lord Northbourne was the first person who has coined the term organic farming. He has written a book, Look to the Land. Look to the Land in 1940. And the farm itself must have a biological completeness, means wholesome. It must be a living entity. It must be a unit which has within itself a balanced organic life. He also he did not like use of chemicals and fertilizers and pesticides, and he also promoted organic farming. Now, Lady Eve Balfour from United Kingdom, she has written a book. She has also done a number of experiments in field and under port conditions, and she spread the organic farming philosophy globally. And her book inspired the founding of the Soil Association in Britain in 1946. And she said that there is close relationship between soil fertility and human health. And decline in soil humus means decline in soil fertility, and that results in decline in human health. So human health is very much related to soil fertility and soil health. And 1947, doctors and consumers blamed agricultural chemicals for causing the development of cancer and mental disorders. Because in Europe and developed countries, by 1947, most of their agriculture was transformed to chemical farming. Therefore, some bad effects, some ill effect of chemical farming were realized by the people in those regions. But by that time, India had did not have much of chemical farming, modern farming. We hardly use any single superphosphate or urea at that time. In France, there was the introduction of the principles of organic farming because doctors and consumers blamed agricultural chemicals that may cause cancer and mental disorders. So it was feeling of the people in 1947 in Europe. J.I. Rodale had been a very famous name in the area of organic agriculture. He was basically a person who used to own a press, a printing press or publisher. You can say he was publisher, kind of publisher. And he started a magazine, Organic Farming and Gardening. This was the magazine, and his purpose was to promote the organic farming in USA and rest of the world. And he collaborated with Albert Howard. Albert Howard also. Albert Howard would write many articles in his magazine, Organic Farming and Gardening. Some papers were published. So basically, he was the author or publisher and demonstrated organic farming and gardening techniques on his research farm. He was promoting through research also, and he has founded the Rodale Press. Rodale Press used to publish some dictionaries or some thesaurus or some other publications. And he popularized the concept of organic farming in USA. He also wrote a book, The Healthy Hunjas, in 1948, published by Rodale Press. So healthy Hunjas were the people. I will discuss what are the Hunja people. But Hunja people had been a subject of study for those who are involved in organic farming. You should know what is Hunja people. I will discuss later. In 1947, Rodale established the Soil and Health Foundation, which is now called as the Rodale Institute. If you go to Google, you type Rodale Institute, you will get complete information about organic farming in USA. Rodale Institute is promoting organic farming. So this kind of website is there for Rodale Institute. You can find their experience, their data, their publications. Those who are interested, at the moment, students do not need it. This is just for your information. And then many of you know about Fukuoka, M. Fukuoka. He was a Japanese farmer and philosopher. And you know the One Store Revolution, it was a book, An Introduction to Natural Farming, published in 1975. in Japanese, and it was translated to English in 1978. So here he gave concept of his one-star revolution, or kind of organic farming, where he said you need not to do anything in farming, just broadcast the seed and you will get the crop. Do not bother about managing the crop. So they were very rebellious kind of concept and thoughts. Also, he wrote another book, The Natural Way of Farming, The Theory and Practice of Green Philosophy, written in 1975 and published in 1985, or not published, translated in English in 1985. So he believed in no-till, there is no need for tillage, no herbicide, grain production techniques. Means weeds will come. You do not control them. They will be controlled automatically. Just you put your seeds above the soil. So that concept he called as natural farming, or do nothing farming. So those who are interested to know more can go through these books. I'm teaching you from the perspective of the history. I'm not teaching you the details of the natural farming of Fukuoka. If you are interested, you can have a book from me. So then Rachel Carson from USA, she was marine biologist, author, and conservationist. She had a lot of interest in environment and ecology. She had a lot of interest in environment and ecology. She wrote a book, Silent Spring, in 1962, and she opened the world's eyes to damage that had been done by the pesticide. She blamed the industries of chemicals for spreading the incomplete information. And she also said that these companies or private industries, chemical industries, are misleading the people. And these chemicals may result in pollution of the environment, and they may affect the human health also. Then Hans Müller and Mary Müller from Switzerland, they were proponents of organic biological agriculture. Just terminology, people gave different terminology, different names, but fundamentally their purpose was to avoid the use of synthetic chemicals and fertilizer or harmful chemicals. So they gave the name organic biological agriculture, or rather it was given by some other person. They were supporting organic biological agriculture. They worked closely with Hans Peter Rusch. So this Hans Peter Rusch, he was the person who gave the concept of organic biological agriculture to develop a natural and sustainable approach to farming, that is organic biological agriculture. Hans Peter Rusch wrote 2 books in German language, and he gave the concept of nature as a result of living particles, built the theoretical background of organic biological agriculture. So I think he meant living particles, these microbes, which are living in the soil. So he has given more thrust on the biology of the soil. Now, IFOM. IFOM is International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements. This is, of course, not a government body, but it is body of private players, NGOs, and initially it was established in Versailles in France in 1972, but then it was shifted to Bonn, Germany. So right now it is headquartered in Bonn, Germany. If somebody asks you where this IFOM is located, it is located in Bonn, Germany. First time where it was established first time, or it was headquartered first time. So answer is France. It provides authoritative information about organic agriculture, and it promotes worldwide and exchange knowledge. So these are 3 important objectives of IFOM: information about organic agriculture, promoting organic agriculture, and exchange of knowledge about, and they also do training programs. They also train people in organic farming. Then Meadows et al., these are the authors who wrote this book for Club of Rome. Club of Rome was there in Italy. Now it has been shifted to Switzerland. They wrote the book, The Limits to Growth. So published in 1972. So they raised the issue of growth of human population and global economy. They had several questions. What will happen if growth in the world population continues unchecked? How we will get the food? And if we produce food for the increasing population, what will be the environmental consequences if economic growth continues at its current pace? So they also suggested some alternatives like organic agriculture. Then E.F. Iskumaker from Germany. You can see on the right side a book, Small is Beautiful. And he was fascinated towards Mahatma Gandhi. And he put Mahatma Gandhi's picture on the cover page. You can see it is on the cover page, Mahatma Gandhi's photo, cover page of his book. So he authored the book, Small is Beautiful, a study of economics as a people matter. So he has given emphasis more on the health of the people than the economics. Means many radical ideas in this book, including concept of sacrificing economic growth for a more fulfilling working life and making quality of life the central goal of economies. Means in economics, the human health should be given the top priority. So indirectly, he also supported organic agriculture. Now time is finishing and we will join by another link. So after Iskumaker, we go to next. That is in 1970s, Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food campaign started worldwide, particularly in USA, Canada, Australia, Europe. And they wanted to encourage consumption of locally grown food. And there is the promotion of this concept with slogans such as Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food. So people wanted to go to the end from where their food is coming. They want to test, they want to see how my food is being produced by people, by farmers. In 1980s, groups pressure for government regulation of organic production worldwide. Then a lot of public movements were there in Europe and developed countries where people put pressure on the government to put some or to regulate the organic production market. Throughout the world, various farming and consumer groups seriously begin to pressure for government regulation of organic production. Means government should frame certain rules and guidelines for organic production. This led to the legislation and certification standards being enacted through the 1990s and to date. They started in 1990s. For example, Codex Alimentarius of FAO came in 1999, as early as 1999. Currently, most aspects of organic food production are government regulated in major countries. In most of the countries, they have their certification process, controlling process, they have standards, and things are in place for organic production regulation. In 1989, Cuba institutes urban food production called organoponicos. There was the collapse of Soviet Union, causing a loss of economic support, resulted in a unique situation to develop in Havana, Cuba, organic food production in necessity. So they started organic food production in Cuba. In 1990s, retail market for organic farming started growing. Further development in 1991, European Union provided a legal framework. Legal framework means regulations. In 2002, United States adopted the National Organic Program. So it was from the government side in 2002 Americans or USA adopted organic National Organic Program, NOP. They call it NOP. In India, we call it NPOP. The United States of America adopted the National Organic Program, and it provided a development framework for organic agriculture. Now, after the world history in brief, now you see history in India. So history in India starts for modern organic agriculture, it starts with Albert Howard. So in 1905 to 1924, organic agriculture begins in Central Europe and India simultaneously. So what happened actually by the time in 1905 or 1924, during this period, most of the European and English agriculture was chemical agriculture or chemical farming. And people started realizing the ill effect of chemical farming on the environment, on the soil, and on the people. So they started thinking differently. What can be done? Should we go back to organic agriculture or not? So in this direction, concepts of Howard were very, very important. Actually, he lived in England during his youth time, and he has seen the chemical farming. He studied the chemical farming in England, and then he was posted in India at Imperial Agricultural Research Institute, which was their former name of IRA in Bihar. In Bihar, what was the place? Pusa, Bihar. So he was posted there as a botanist or as a plant breeder whose job was to breed the wheat variety. So he developed few wheat varieties, but his interest was different. His interest was in organic farming. His interest was in organic manures, humus, etc. So actually he was influenced by Indian farmers. So Indian farmers at that time were small farmers. They were adopting the crop rotations. Variety of crops were grown, crop mixtures, intercropping, all sorts of practices were followed by the farmers. And he realized that those practices were sustainable. For centuries, people have adopted those practices and they were successful. So that time he realized that this chemical agriculture is not going to serve the purpose. Let us do some work on promotion of organic farming. And this organic farming cannot be completed just by varieties. We cannot divide the plant into subjects. We cannot divide plant into entomology, pathology, soil science, or other disciplines. Plant is one, plant is wholesome. So he started that kind of thinking that first we need to remove the diseases from the soil. The shortcoming of soil, he called them sickness, soil sickness or soil diseases, means the infertility of the soil or imbalance of nutrient in the soil. And he also gave emphasis on good root growth. So that time he was a very pioneering person. He did a lot of work on citrus roots, roots of fruit plants, annual plants. And he gave the role of mycorrhiza. That time, in 1930s, he described the role of mycorrhiza that we are talking today. So mycorrhiza is not new to the scientific world. And he made a lot of contributions. And initially, he did not get enough land in Pusa, Bihar. Then he made a request to the Lord or King or some influential person in Indore who donated some land for him. And he started his practices or his research work in Indore, where he was assisted by his wife, as well as his sister was there to collect the data, to write the things for him, and so on. So a lot of contributions were made by him in the area of organic agriculture, mainly in the area of composting and soil root plant relationship or soil plant relationship via mycorrhiza or via roots. So he is considered as father of organic agriculture, documented traditional Indian farming practices, and came to regard them as superior to conventional agriculture. Superior to means he learned from our farmers and he wrote those kind of information in the form of books. In 1943, he wrote a book, An Agricultural Testament, which is worth reading. I will share this book, hardly 140, 150 pages. You may try to read this book. He wrote another book in 1947, The Soil and Health, a study of organic agriculture. So it was the first book in the world where the name organic agriculture appeared in the title. The Soil and Health, a study of organic agriculture, published in 1947. You can see the cover page of this book, and he was given the designation of Sir. One book on the left side is An Agricultural Testament, 1943, and Soil Health in 1947. So Agriculture Research Station, he started working in Indore, and here he gave his method, Indore method of composting or aerobic composting techniques, Indore process. North American as well as British organic farming was fundamentally influenced by Howard. By reintegrating the different agricultural research disciplines, he wanted to combine everything. He concluded that health of soil, plants, animals, and humans are interrelated. We need to take it on system basis, not on individual basis. A humus-rich soil is key for successful farming. So he gave more thrust on organic matter, addition of organic matter in the soil. And during the same period, almost, there was one more person, Sir Robert McCarrison. So he was a doctor, basically he was a doctor with British Army in India. So he was given some rank of colonel or brigadier, whatever, but he was basically a doctor. He founded the Institute of Nutrition in India in 1918. Originally a single room laboratory, when he founded Institute of Nutrition at the Pasture Institute in Kunnur, Tamil Nadu. So he got a small portion, a small 1 or 2 rooms in Pasture Institute in Tamil Nadu for the study of beriberi, and was called the Beriberi Inquiry Unit when the Institute of Nutrition was started. The facility moved to Hyderabad in 1958 and in 1969 was renamed as the National Institute of Nutrition. This is very, very important institute in India. Now it works under CSIR, I think, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research or some other department, but it is a government body. So what it did, Robert McCarrison, as you know, he did some research work there at Kunnur. He established the relationship among soil fertility, food quality, and human nutrition. Like Howard, he also said that your soil fertility or fertile soil will give you richer food, better food, high quality food, and better human nutrition. And he said that decreased food quality due to increased use of mineral nitrogen fertilizer. If you add chemical fertilizers to the soil, the food quality decreases. It was said by him in 1926 and 1936. Studying the health and physics of the Hunja tribesmen, he also studied Hunja people. They were very important people. They were studied by Rodale also. J.I. Rodale studied them. McCarrison also studied them. Actually, these people, Hunja people, used to have very good physics, very good health, and they used to live for over 100 years. They get very long age. So people were interested. What is the reason? Why these people live so long? So they were subject of study. Robert McCarrison also made several studies on quality of the food, on Indian diets, So he had taken variety of Indian diets, Maratha diet, Bengali diet, Madrasi diet, Punjabi diet, and so many diets. And he did his experiment on rats. So rats were fed variety of Indian diets, your Nepali diet, and number of diets were given. And he found some interesting fact that the Sikh diet that time in India was the best, was nutritious, very nutritious compared to Bengali diet or Madrasi diet or even European diet. So he was of the view that if you want a good health, then you need to have nutritious diet. And for nutritious diet, you need to improve health of the soil. So he made a study on Sikh diet versus diet of poor class European. So Sikh diet was better than you can see the study was made on the rats. So on the left side, you can see rats are healthy. On the right side, rats are not healthy. So this is the result of his study, such kind of study. And previous one, you can see it was compared with Sikh diet and other Indian diets. Now, I was talking to you about Hunja people. So let us know more about Hunja people. So why the name Hunja came? Because they are indigenous to the Hunja Valley. So Hunja Valley in the Karakoram mountains of northern Pakistan. If you have seen the map of the world or map of India, when your Himalayan range ends, then you get another range, Karakoram range. Mountains of they are in the northern Pakistan, and in those mountains there is one province of Pakistan. Now it is in Pakistan, Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan, and I can tell you, I can bet that this region of Gilgit-Baltistan is much more beautiful even than our Kashmir. This Gilgit-Baltistan, it attracts a lot of foreigners, people as a visitor. So this is excellent, beautiful place, and it is situated northwest of the Hunja River. So name of the river is also Hunja, name of the people as well as name of the valley are Hunja. Hunja Valley, Hunja people, Hunja River. And actually Pakistan, it was a free territory before 1970, I think. In 1970, it was merged in Pakistan. So therefore, they have trouble with the Pakistan. They do not like Pakistani central government. They are indigenous to Hunja Valley and Karakoram mountains of the northern Pakistan, Gilgit-Baltistan. It's repeat. You can see healthy living advocate J.I. Rodale wrote a book, Healthy Hunjas, and what are the reasons he found that Hunjas noted for their longevity, healthy organic foods, because they were not using any chemical. There were no machines, there were no tractors, there was no air pollution in those regions. So water was fresh, air was fresh, and food was pesticide-free, fertilizer-free. So the reason for their longevity was healthy organic foods and plenty of fresh air. And for your information, that region, variety of nuts are produced. Your all kind of almonds, your pista or whatever dry fruit, kobani, adu, peach, plum, all kind of temperate kind of fruits are produced in this valley. And people love to eat those kind of fruits, which give them strength and vitamins, minerals, and everything. So they do not have any cancer case also. It is quite interesting. I do not have the data, but I heard that there is hardly any cancer in Hunja people. So quite interesting fact. Their health is good. So you can see they look like this. They do not look Pakistani. They look some different people. And perhaps when Alexander the Great, he was leaving India and going back to Greece, that time some soldiers stayed back in that area, and maybe because of inbreeding with Indians or some other people, they got a new kind of race in Gilgit-Baltistan. Their eyes are blue. Did you know that the Hunja Valley, a small and remote mountainous place in Pakistan, is home to some of the healthiest people on earth? They live well past 100 and have almost no reports of cancer. Their secret, why they do not have cancer, they consume apricot seeds, which contain vitamin B17 that has been shown to decrease the risk of various forms of cancer. So such kind of studies have been made by people. They consume approximately 200 times more vitamin B70 than the average American. So some people are still making a lot of studies on Hunja people. Now, so far history in India is concerned, actually we were organic before Green Revolution. After Green Revolution, you know the history, our fertilizer consumption, pesticide consumption increased, particularly in Punjab, Haryana, and other intensive cultivated areas. And because of this, several problems appeared, and people wanted to have some new form of agriculture. And in this case, the government was also keen to start organic agriculture in the India. So therefore, a lot of initiatives have been taken by the government of India. First was launching of National Program of Organic Production, NPOP, on 8th May 2000. It was launched. What was the purpose of NPOP? Please remember full form of NPOP, National Program of Organic Production. The purpose was to promote, protect, and develop the Indian organic movement, install accreditation and certification process. Number one, purpose of NPOP or responsibility of NPOP was to promote, protect, and develop the Indian organic movement, install accreditation and certification process. Develop the standards also. The accreditation and certification program started in 1st October 2001. So many times there is confusion in the student's mind that when the NPOP started. So many times they do the mistake, they write 2001. So actually the program, if in the question, if it is launching of the program, then it is 8th May 2000. And then if the implementation or accreditation and certification program is started on 1st October 2001. Third initiative was organic logo released by Government of India on 26 July 2002. So organic logo, you must have seen, I will show you later, India organic logo. That logo, if you put it on the product, that means it has been a certified product, certified by APIDA, will get the India organic logo. So they developed the logo also. And who is implementing the National Program of Organic Production, NPOP? So NPOP is being implemented by the Ministry of Commerce through APIDA. APIDA is your Agricultural Processed Food and Export Development Authority. It is authority, it is not the agency. Many times a student mistake. They say that last A is for agency. No, it is for authority. So what this APIDA is doing? So APIDA has developed national organic standards. So national standard for organic farming have been developed by APIDA in 2005, and subsequently they have been revised in 2014. So now anybody interested can see the national standard of organic farming for India. Accreditation criteria for accrediting inspection and certification agency. Right now you will not be able to understand what is accreditation. Accreditation of certification agencies. So later on I will explain you what is accreditation in detail. It is simply the providing the authority to a group of people, to a company, to an NGO to certify, giving the authority to a group of company or to a particular company to do the job of certification. That is your accreditation. Then there are a number of government schemes for promotion of organic farming, like National Project on Organic Farming, NPOF, National Project on Organic Farming, that is being implemented by National Center of Organic and Natural Farming. And NHM, National Horticulture Mission, indirectly supports organic farming. Horticulture Mission for Northeast and Himalayan states. So partly this is also complementing organic farming promotion. National Project on Management of Soil Health and Fertility, where these farmers are getting soil health card. So this program is also supporting organic farming. Network Project on Organic Farming. So Network Project on Organic Farming is All India coordinated project which is being implemented by Indian Institute of Farming System Research, Modipuram, so which is part of ICR. So Network Project on Organic Farming is basically sponsored by ICR, implemented by Indian Institute of Farming System Research, Modipuram, Meerut. That is Network Project on Organic Farming. There are about 20 centers of this project. And PKVY, Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Parampragat means traditional. Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Now, what this PKVY is doing, so it is promoting organic farming and a subcomponent of soil health management scheme. This Yojana is a subcomponent of soil health management scheme under National Mission of Sustainable Agriculture. So you can see on the top is National Mission of Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA, and SHM is part of this, and this PKVY is part of SHM. Aims at development of sustainable models of organic farming through a mix of traditional wisdom and modern science. So here some conflict come. Some traditional wisdom sometimes is problematic and modern science is okay to ensure long-term soil fertility buildup, resource conservation, and climate change adaptation and mitigation. It also aims at empowering farmers through institutional development through cluster approach. Cluster approach means here farmers can make a group of 15-20 people and pool their land, say 50 acres or more. They can pool their land and then they will get the subsidy. For initial 3 years, there is very less production or low production from organic farming, and their product is also not considered as organic product. Therefore, farmers are given some money or you can say some subsidy or aid for their sacrifice. And it is about rupees 20,000 per acre, which comes out to be rupees 50,000 per acre during first 3 years. Means in all the 3 years, it is one-time grant. It is not that every year farmer will get 50,000 for 1 hectare. He will get 50,000 in 3 years once. And it also supports the PGS, Participatory Guarantee System India program, will be the key approach for quality assurance under PKVY. So it is kind of a certification process, PGS in the India program. I will discuss in detail. So groups of farmers would be motivated to take up organic farming under the scheme, and they can form 50 or more farmers can form a cluster of at least 50 acres to take up organic farming. They can start, and it is through the involvement of the central and state government. There will be no liability on the farmers for expenditure on certification. Certification will be free of charge in PKVY. Every farmer will be provided 20,000 rupees per acre in 3 years. Organic farming will be promoted by using traditional resources, and the organic products will be linked with the market. So up to market, it is going to help the farmers. Now, natural farming also now government is promoting. I do not have many words for this, but why government is promoting it? But many times there is a lot of mixing, a lot of problem with the natural farming. Government is promoting natural farming through Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati BPKP introduced during 20 21 as a sub-scheme of Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana for the promotion of traditional and indigenous practices, including natural farming. So government is getting confused in natural farming and organic farming. Because of the pressure of certain proponents of natural farming, government got influenced and they are promoting natural farming as organic farming. A lot of confusion is there, and students are in dilemma also, because ICR have been asked to develop syllabus, develop courses, develop degrees in natural farming, which is a very difficult task. These days you must be listening in news also about natural farming. So government is implementing dedicated organic farming scheme of, one is Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana, just we have seen it. Another Yojana is Mission Organic Value Chain Development in the Northeast regions, MOV CD NER, since 2015-16, and currently they have allocated rupees 650 crore in 21-22 budget. You can remember that Sikkim was declared organic state. It is known to you on 18 January 2016. However, Sikkim has very small area, that is 75,000 hectares, but that is an organic state, first organic state in India. Now, government is also promoting organic farming in Uttarakhand. There are many places, many states in India where certain governments are interested to promote organic farming. Now you can see education in organic farming. So now you can see ICR endorses MSc degree in organic farming. Very shortly, certain university or certain ICR institute can start MSc degree in organic farming. Of course, PhD degree is not approved, but MSc degree in organic farming is approved. And it is also not mentioned a student who has done MSc in organic farming, in what discipline of PhD he will be eligible. That is a limitation with this kind of education, because you can do MSc in organic farming. If you are interested to do PhD, in which subject I am eligible to do PhD? Is it organic agronomy? Is it soil science? Is it environmental science? So some confusion is there. But when the problem comes, I think ICR will sort out these kind of problems with time. ICR has constituted a committee for developing syllabus and curriculum for natural farming. Very shortly, you will get some news about ICR was forced by the government to develop a syllabus, to develop a course on these lines. ICR may or may not be interested. I don't know, but it was asked by the government to make a course on natural farming, and this course should be taught at UG and PG level compulsorily. So that is the situation. But it's still confusion. They don't know the difference in organic farming and natural farming. Which farming should be promoted? The proponent of natural farming, Mr. Subhash Palekar, is totally against the organic farming, and it is his influence that now we are listening natural farming everywhere. I do not know the reasons for his influence, how he influenced the government and the people. Anyway, but ICR did not accept his farming in 2018 or 2019. Sometimes back, there was a brainstorming session. I was also part of that brainstorming session, where ICR has very clearly rejected this natural farming 3 years before. But now we are developing syllabus on natural farming. And in this regard, in December 21, an 8-member committee was formed under Dr. Praveen Rao, Vice Chancellor of Telangana State University. And they are developing some syllabus, some course content for this natural farming course for UG and PG. And even this NCRT is not behind. NCRT also wrote a book, Organic Farming. If anybody is interested, I can give you this book. They have written 5 chapters are there, and chapter 1 for class 6, chapter 2 and 3 for class 7, and chapter 4 and 5 for class 7. Now students who are having this NCERT or CBSE board, they are having these kind of books available. ICR IRE, interestingly, our institute, New Delhi, is going to start the PG diploma in organic farming since this year, since 1st July 2022. IRA will offer this diploma in organic farming. It may be a good news for some. And you can see the PG diploma in organic farming is offered by IGNU. Some state agriculture university offer MSc degrees like I think HPKV. MIT University, it is offering MSc degree in organic agriculture. In European countries or Australia, you can find some MSc and PhD degree in organic agriculture. And surprise, to your surprise, this Punjab Agriculture University, which always professed or promoted chemical farming, they also started a school of organic farming in 2017. So you can see the developments in organic farming. IFOM, International Federation Organic Agriculture Movement, it is promoting organic farming through trainings, through sharing the knowledge, organizing conferences and seminars. In India, we had Organic World Congress, 19th Organic World Congress in 2017. It was organized in India. Many international agencies in like IFOM, Europe, Australia, FIBL, USA, Asia, a lot of agencies are there which are promoting. This is full form of APIDA, Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. And you can see PGS participatory guarantee system in this direction also. Now India is independent. Now we have our own certification system in place. PGS, you can browse this website, apida.gov.in. You can find a lot of information about organic farming like TraceNet. TraceNet is online help through which you can see the details of the product, who produced it, how it changed the hands, how many hands it has passed, where it was produced, in what time of the year it was produced, and so all the details of the product can be traced by QR code or barcode. So TraceNet is interesting online facility available at APIDA. Similarly, more details about TraceNet. And if you want to see detailed information, official information, go to APIDA website. You will find these kind of structure where you can find organic standard, all details, government official details about organic farming. This is National Center of Organic Farming. In 2004, it is in Ghaziabad. And in 2022, it was renamed as National Center for Organic and Natural Farming. The name has been changed for this center. This is under Ministry of Agriculture. And it has got 9 different centers in whole India. They are doing job of participatory guarantee system, PGS certification, promotion of organic farming in the whole country. This National Center of Organic Farming. And thank you very much. Your questions are welcome.